Right now on News Channel 5.
Stunning new information about Marlins star Jose Fernandez as autopsy and toxicology reports are made public.
I'm tracking some rain across the area. I'll let you know if we'll see more tomorrow and when the sun will come out.
Moonfest 2016 well underway here in downtown West Palm Beach. Why organizers call this their best year yet.
It's pretty strange to put something like that out with such little information right before an election.
We're going to beat crooked Hillary big.
Donald Trump hammering Hillary Clinton over emails. The Clinton campaign lashing out at the head of the FBI, all just days before the election. But first, we are following breaking news out of New York City. The Metropolitan Opera House evacuated after an audience member went on stage with a suspicious powder. Officials say an unknown person went on stage during intermission of the show and sprinkled some powder in the orchestra pit. One person at the Opera House sought medical treatment, their condition not known. No other injuries reported. Police say the person who sprinkled that powder remains at large.
Right now on News Channel 5.
The president for everybody.
In 3 days, we are going to win the great state of Florida.
Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton here in battleground Florida just 3 days before the election. What they're saying tonight as part of the final push.
Early voting coming to a close. Why turnout may be higher this year than previous elections.
And Florida, one of 9 states voting on whether to legalize marijuana for medical or recreation reasons. How some entrepreneurs are finding all kinds of pot-related businesses.
Well, first, we begin with breaking news at 11. Donald Trump rushed off stage tonight by the Secret Service. This during a rally in Nevada. The Republican nominee speaking to supporters in Reno when a disturbance broke out in the crowd close to the podium. 2 Secret Service agencies saw quickly surrounded Trump and hustled him off the stage. Now, the nature of the disturbance not clear, but several security officials escorted a man out of the venue soon afterward. Trump returned to the rally to speak within minutes.
Now, with just 3 days to go until Election Day, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are making their final arguments to voters. Clinton's outdoor rally in South Florida didn't go quite as planned because of Mother Nature. The skies opened up shortly after Clinton began speaking, but she and the crowd seemed to roll with the changes, laughing and cheering as everybody got soaked. Clinton did, however, manage to squeeze in a thank you to Jay-Z and Beyonce for their campaign concert in Cleveland last night.
Just in case you didn't notice last night, I gotta say, I was with Jay-Z and Beyonce. They were amazing. You can go online and watch it. It was the most extraordinary show. My personal favorite part was Beyonce had her backup singers and dancers in pantsuits.
Now, after the rally, Clinton moved on to Philadelphia, where she joined Katy Perry at another concert.
Well, earlier today, Donald Trump was rallying supporters in Tampa. The GOP nominee mocked Clinton for her appearance with Jay-Z, claiming she needs celebrities to draw an audience. Trump also blasted the lyrics from Jay-Z's musical performance, saying it included inappropriate language.
And we don't need Jay-Z to fill up arenas, you know. We do it the old-fashioned way. We do it the old-fashioned way, folks. We fill them up because you love what we're saying and you want to make America great again. That's about it. Yet Hillary Clinton wants to double down on Obamacare, making it even more expensive. Going to make it much more expensive.
After leaving Florida, Trump's campaign took him to North Carolina. After his Nevada rally, he will head to Colorado.
Right now on News Channel 5.
Set free, the 4th District Court of Appeal reverses the conviction of Andrew Wheeler, caught on camera beating a teen and sentenced to 30 years.
A 13-year-old boy fighting for his life after being hit by a car. How family says you can help tonight.
I'm tracking a cold front. I'll let you know when that'll move through. Plus, the tropics aren't over yet. I'll let you know what might be brewing.
There are several people being considered, and it's Mr. Trump's decision ultimately.
And President-elect Donald Trump about to decide who will become his chief of staff. When we could find that out. First, though, we begin with breaking news at 11 o'clock. Police looking for this missing West Palm Beach man, Adolfo Mazpul, last seen at about 6:45 tonight. He was walking east from 425 Winters Street. He's 5'5", 155 pounds with short gray hair, brown eyes, and a scar on his chest. He has been diagnosed with dementia. If you see this man, please call West Palm Beach Police.
Now, from WPTV, this is News Channel 5 at 11.
Tonight, the search for suspects after two separate incidents of gunfire. 2 teens are hurt. Riviera Beach police say the shootings are related.
New information in an officer-involved shooting that left a Treasure Coast man dead. I'm Alex Hagan in Fort Pierce, where the case goes from here.
I'm tracking a cold front moving through the state tonight. I'll let you know how cold it'll get and how long it'll last.
USA! USA!
And second act, Trump supporters stage a surprise rally outside the Broadway Theater where actors heckled Mike Pence.
First, though, we are following breaking news. The Coast Guard suspends its search for a missing boater. 66-year-old Stuart Savinock left Jensen Beach Boat Rentals to go fishing on Monday in a 23-foot boat. He was scheduled to return around 5 o'clock that same day. A staff member from Jensen Beach Boat Rentals calling the Coast Guard when Savinock did not return and reported him missing.
And more breaking news out of northern India, where a passenger train derails in a village near the industrial town of Kanpur. Police say at least 45 people were killed and more than 120 injured. It's not immediately clear what caused the derailment.
Now, Storm Team 5 with South Florida's most accurate weather forecast.
1.
NASA launches a rocket carrying the nation's most advanced weather satellite. The unmanned rocket blasted off from Cape Canaveral tonight.
The rocket is hauling the GOES-R satellite for the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration. Now, the upgraded satellite will improve views of severe storms and overall weather forecasting.
Very, very cool stuff. Our weather team has been keeping a close eye on this all week, and Steve Weigel was up at the Cape yesterday, and James rounded us up and said, hey, let's go take a look at this outside tonight. It was very cool.
Let's go up on the helipad and check it out. Yeah, it was really cool, and I got a lot of great photos, viewer photos from folks all over the area. This one from Vero Beach, Sam Wolf, always takes amazing photos, and look at that, looking up over the water, just gorgeous there, right in Vero Beach, so thanks, Sam, for sending that. Alexander Brock, too, right at the Jupiter Lighthouse, gorgeous, look at that. Really, really nice. If it were just an hour earlier, the beginning of the window, we would have saw the whole trail light up the entire way because it would have been, the sun would have been shining on it.
President-elect Donald Trump will spend much of the weekend meeting with potential candidates to line his administration.
Among those people, Mitt Romney, who was one of the toughest critics of Trump during the campaign.
Now from WPTV, this is News Channel 5 at 6.
A moral test for America, a test that right now the U.S. Surgeon General fears we are failing.
Late today, the country's top doctor called the nation out, demanding a cultural shift in how all of us think about addiction. He said addiction is a neurological disorder of the brain, not a disease of choice. The heroin epidemic ripping apart families and crippling first responders.
News Channel 5's Michelle Casada spent 2 days with Delray Beach Fire Rescue to show us the pain and suffering they see every day because of addiction.
We can have on a busy day upwards of 12, 15 heroin overdoses.
Hang on. What you see here is what Delray Beach firefighters deal with every day and night, a heroin overdose.
He's got 4 in the nose already, Chris.
Narcan is an opiate antidote, but the nasal spray is not working like it used to.
So what we used to administer at 0.4 milligrams of Narcan, now we're administering up to 8 and sometimes even more.
He's blinking. He's starting to wake up now. What'd you use? Okay.
That's what I believed it was.
Okay, I understand.
Today's heroin is laced with fentanyl, a synthetic opioid 50 times stronger than morphine. That's the killer. Even with Narcan, Fire Chief Neil DeJesus told me his first responders can't save them all.
They're seeing an amount of deaths equal to that we used to see in a career. They are now seeing over a several-month span.
And while first responders helped this patient,
overdose, intoxication.
It's another one down the street.
Delray Beach firefighters believe what they're dealing with is not a problem. It's a crisis. Already this year, they've responded to more than 1,500 overdoses. During my 2-day ride-along, I saw first responders help a user who dropped his heroin on the ground of a public parking lot. Another time, they discovered needles and a spoon on top of a restaurant bathroom sink. And what hit me the hardest, a 3-year-old boy who found his father unconscious inside a business's bathroom. He told the owner his daddy was sleeping.
There's been occasions where they've responded back to that same patient for another overdose twice, and in one case 3 times in the same day. And that's incredibly frustrating.
You're in the back of the ambulance now. Okay, you overdosed, okay?
Is this the worst you've ever seen drug use in your career?
By far. By far.
Going to a 31-year-old male not responding.
Firefighters in Delray Beach are now going through mandatory counseling.
Signs and symptoms that I've seen in firefighters, and just becoming calloused and hardened to here's another overdose, and here's another person who's willingly and voluntarily trying to take their life for a high.
Drunk or high? What's up? High. Heroin or there?
Since the start of this year, 47 people have died of heroin overdoses, and that's just in Delray Beach. Delray Beach Fire Rescue can respond to as many as 12 to 15 overdose calls a day. At one point during my ride-along, every available fire truck at every downtown fire station was out responding to emergencies, most of them overdoses.
It is just amazing to see the human toll when you're so used to seeing all the statistics. Just incredible what you've been able to show us. And over those 2 days, Michelle, what do the first responders say that they need?
Well, first, the chief says that they need more manpower. He's asked the city to hire 24 firefighters for the next 3 years, over the next 3 years. And second, he says they need tougher regulation for the sober homes. While we were on these calls, many of these calls were out to actual sober homes, and many of the patients that they treated said they were in recovery.
Wow.
It's beyond words, and straining the capacity of cities across this country, social resources, medical resources, and everything else. And we know you're continuing to follow this for us, and we appreciate it, Michelle.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle. All right, we want to go to some breaking news out of Port St. Lucie, where the police chief is speaking about an officer-involved shooting today.
John Bolduc speaking.
Passed away at the hospital, and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement has arrived on scene and taken over the investigation.
Chief, do you believe drugs were a factor in this?
I have no idea at this point.
But that behavior you're explaining, it sounds a lot like a synthetic drug.
We would be guessing right now.
Can you describe what he was doing, why he was called? You said a family member called 911 because of his actions. Can you tell us about what he was doing?
Yeah, I've seen the dispatch screen. I haven't talked to the officers. By the time I got on scene, they were not here. From what I am told, it just said cutting up the house.
With a machete?
With a knife, but when they got on scene, it was a machete.
And did he come at them with the machete?
Yes, the officers initially engaged, and he advanced towards them.
How many times was he shot?
I don't know the answer to that right now.
And what is it right now that you've got the entire scene roped off? What is it that your responsibility is now as a police agency, especially now that he's passed away?
Well, the investigation has been turned over to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. We have a memorandum of understanding where they investigate all of our officer-involved shootings. So at this point, we secure the scene, we call them, they've arrived on scene, and they have taken over the investigation.
All right, thank you very much.
He lived at this house?
Chief.
I'm sorry?
He was a resident here?
Yes.
Does he live here alone, or who does he live here with?
I don't know who he lives here, but there were several people in the house.
And that is Chief John Bolduc. Just wrapping up the latest in this investigation. We have learned that the shooting victim has passed away from a gunshot wound sustained from an officer who shot him. He clarified that officers were called here from a 911 call from a family member saying that that shooting victim was acting erratically with a machete, cutting up the front yard with that weapon. When police arrived here, he still had that weapon. He approached them with that machete. That's when police officers tried to use a taser to get him under control. That did not work. That's when police officers had to fatally shoot him. We will keep you updated on this developing story throughout the night here on WPTV News Channel 5. Reporting live in Port St. Lucie, I'm Megan McRoberts, WPTV News Channel 5.
It is the final all-day effort in the 32nd annual Bill Brooks Food for Families Drive. It is happening right now at the WPTV studios here in West Palm Beach, and we'll take you outside where the drop-offs continue for at least a little under a half an hour.
Beautiful night at the Cape. We're going to talk more about what we can expect with a new weather satellite that's going up. We'll give you the time for the launch, and we'll also talk what it means for South Florida as far as weather forecasting in the future.
Salute final stretch of the Bill Brooks Food for Families food drive, and we are located here in West Palm Beach, where we've been collecting food all day on our last all-day drive. But if you can't get down here in the next 20 or so minutes and you live too far away, here's an easy way where you can step in and help. I'd like to shine the camera now on all the beautiful faces here behind our phones. This is our United Way phone bank. Employees are taking calls at our 1-800-345-WPTV phone number, and you can donate as much or as little as you would like to then go to Food for Families. That money will be put to excellent use and will buy a lot of food that will then be given to the agencies that we work with, and that will supply them to all the food to the families that need it so desperately going into the holiday season. So 1-800-345-WPTV. They're really nice people, and they need your call right now. I think over $800 or so we've raised so far. Let's go out to Michael, who is outside, actually in the circle right outside the station. Michael?
Hey, a big round of applause for our entire team here. We've got St. John Paul. Every year the school helps us. A big round of applause for them. Come on, put your hands together for one another out here. A little louder. Oh, there we go. There we go. And then we've got the contest between the WPTV PM crew and the AM crew. As we pan this table, though, all of it at the end of the day, for all the fun competition we've had, it's for a great, great cause. Every one of these cans of food, every one of these boxes of food represents some help and a lifeline for people who would otherwise be without food throughout the holidays. A tremendous job our crew's done. I'm with the executive assistant to our VP and general manager, Allison Fox. And Allison, you've been out here all day long. It's just been nonstop.
Nonstop. Thank you so much to our viewers and our volunteers. Thank you so much. This has been so successful.
It really touches everybody's heart. And let me get one of our students from John Paul. What is your name?
Hi, I'm Sarah Sullivan.
Talk about what this means to you. You're out here. You could be doing a million other things, but you're out here helping.
This means a lot to me. It's my second year helping with the WPTV food drive, and I really just like volunteering for the community and giving back.
Well, your community and spirit, and that of your classmates and that of all of the people here, inspires all of us. And you at home, I hope, are giving them a big round of applause, because they really make this happen. So proud to have them as we continue our food drive here nonstop, and we'll have much more. But it's been a great, great day. Thank you to them for their outreach, and thank you to you. We'll be back with more in a moment. New information now in the breaking news out of Port St. Lucie, where an officer shot and killed a man this afternoon whom police say was wielding a machete.
Megan McRoberts is live along Colleen Avenue with the breaking update. Megan?
Michael Kelly, several new pieces of information in the last 10 minutes or so. First, we have the identity of the man in this deadly shooting. His name is he's 25-year-old Samson Florent. Police were called here after someone in the home called 911 saying he was acting strange, cutting up the yard with a machete. We also know 4 police officers responded to this scene. One of those officers shooting the man after attempts to control him with a taser did not work. The name of that officer who fired his weapon is Colin Duncombe. He's an 18-year vet with the department. And the man who deployed his taser was Officer Kenneth Frid, who's also been with the department more than 10 years. We also here on the scene have told you over the day that this has been a very emotional scene. Family of this victim has been here, including his father, who spoke to us moments ago.
He's a cool guy, never have any trouble with anybody. He's really have respect for everybody at the house. Respect even for the neighbor person, even at work. But he never, if you talk to him, you don't talk a lot. He just move away. He's not going to say anything.
And FDLE will be taking over this investigation. Those 4 officers that arrived to this scene earlier today will be put on paid administrative leave, which is standard for officer-involved shootings. I'm Megan McRoberts. Back to you.
Other news now, countdown to launch day. A new weather satellite headed for orbit, being powered by a local company that many of you may not have heard a lot about.
Only on 5, we take you inside the facility building rocket engines in Palm Beach County. Our chief meteorologist and space expert, Steve Weigel, live at the Kennedy Space Center with a behind-the-scenes look during the countdown. Steve?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. A beautiful evening here at the Cape. And, of course, the launch is tomorrow, as Michael said, at 5:42 p.m. This is a new generation of weather satellite that'll go into space and help us better predict hurricane tracks, tornadoes, and any kind of severe weather. It's just a real huge upgrade in the technology that'll be in space to help us out. So the satellite was rolled, the whole rocket, in fact, was rolled out this morning from the Cape, the assembly area, to the launch pad, and it will be launched, and we should all be able to see it in South Florida. The launch is tomorrow night at 5:42. Could be a spectacular launch because the timing makes it right around sunset or shortly after, and some of those launches are just amazing. We had a chance earlier to talk to a NOAA expert about what it means for weather forecasting in the future.
One of the ways it's going to do that, it's going to basically be from going from black and white TV to high definition. We're going to be able to use the imager to basically watch storms, severe storms, hurricanes. Either, are they growing, are they decaying, where is it the weather more severe, and be able to use that to inform our public.
We will be streaming that launch live on Facebook tomorrow, and you can watch that 5:42 p.m. And you can certainly see it from South Florida. It'd be spectacular. And also many other pictures in behind the scenes the last couple of days as we cover the launch on Facebook and tweet it out. A beautiful night here, and tomorrow night promises the same. Should be a great night to view this launch in South Florida.
Wish we were there.
Exactly. It looks fantastic and quite interesting, and exactly. Lived here for many, many decades, and I never knew what was going on over there.
It's good stuff. A lot of very smart, dedicated folks here, Steve. Thanks for the pulling the curtain back for all of us lay folks. It's going to be a fun launch to watch.
That's right. Thank you, Steve. We are winding down the 32nd annual Bill Brooks Food for Families food drive. Yes.
Yes. Woo! Yeah.
Today alone, right here at the News Channel 5 studios, close to 20,000 pounds of food collected.
What a great effort. And I'm here with my social media food drive video stars, all of them, Jay and Kelly and Ashley. And what a great week.
We had an amazing week putting together all the entertainment for everyone, but most importantly, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for pouring your hearts out to those in need this holiday.
And Ashley.
Exactly.
It's just so amazing to see everybody come together and come out, and just being back there with all the phones, just ringing off the hook, and everyone coming by. It's just been such an amazing time. So thank you guys so much for being a part of this and letting us be a part of it too.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
James has got that big smile on his face.
Thank you very much. Bill Brooks is proud. Good night.